Virgil, firstly, it's lovely to see you back and in good health. Can you tell us the situation personally?
Well, I'm back. I'm in full health. I've told it a couple of times. It's kind of long to go over, but if it's on the internet, I've told the situation. But I'm in full restoration of health. I'm completely restored.
How much did you miss it while you were gone?
Oh, I missed a game, of course, but I wasn't out long. I was only out, I think, 6 months at the longest, five. So it wasn't that far out. Uh,
But these are sort of nights, fights like this that are coming up this weekend. Those are the ones you missed while you were away?
Well, it's always good to be involved in a big fight. That's what you strive for, that's what you work for. So it's always good to be in a situation like this.
Can I ask, I remember speaking to you before Amir fought Saul Alvarez, and you'd explained that you needed Amir to persuade you to take the fight. How similar is that the situation here, or were you always quite happy for him to take the fight?
Well, I think it was a sound business move for him. It's a fight that he possibly could come up short, but it's not a dangerous fight across the board where there was no margin for error in the Canelo fight. It just wasn't no margin for error. So in this fight, he does have some options, some openings, and there's a possibility that a strong possibility we come out victorious.
Do you see Crawford as the best fighter in the world? A lot of people tend to side with either Crawford or Lomachenko.
I don't think that the smoke is cleared yet where you could put a consensus number one pound for pound fight in the world, because the simple reason is a lot of them being talked about. Everybody has their favorites, of course, but I don't think no one has separated themselves from the pack, so to speak, or has the necessary resume to be the consensus undisputed pound for pound where all the parties agree. Until all the parties agree, it's open season. Who's pound for pound? So take your pick.
How much did Lomachenko impress you last weekend?
He was very impressive in what he did. And it wasn't what Crawler did. He did what he was supposed to do. Crawler didn't put up a fight, so Lomachenko was left with no choice but to walk through him, and that's what happened.
Do you think, again, there's this rivalry there, Lomachenko was so impressive. Do you think that's made Amir's task even more dangerous this weekend because Crawford might want to respond and make a similar statement?
Hard to say until the fight starts. I don't like speculating. I just prepare for the potential things that could happen and have been prepared for anything that unfolds in the fight, and we go from there. Anything other than that is speculation.
How much of a chance do you give Amir this weekend? I know you're his trainer, but most people see him as a big underdog. Do you see it the same way?
I can see why people have him an underdog based on the last 4 years of Crawford's rise and Amir sort of being a little stagnant. I think that would be the reason why you would put him an underdog. But as far as his ability and as far as his preparation, I wouldn't consider him an underdog at all.
We saw Amir produce his best performances while he was working with you, up to and including the Alvarez fight, which obviously was winning before he got stopped. Then he had a long period without working with you. Have you seen any sort of regression, or is he still the fighter he was when he came back to you?
Well, in all fairness to him, he had been off 2 years, so you're not going to look 100% coming back after a 2-year layoff. And the first fight ended so quick, so he didn't get anything out of that. In the Vasquez fight, he admits himself that he underestimated Vasquez, which is probably the case. He had early success knocking him down, and then he shut off. So he got knocked down, and then, but it was good that he got the rounds in.
What did you think of that performance, or those two performances, in fact?
Well, I didn't think much of the performance at all. He put himself in a situation that made the fight more difficult than it should have been. On paper, that's not taking anything away from Vasquez. He's fought some good competition, and styles make fights. So he had the style to kind of give Amir a few problems. So that's how I saw it.
From what you've seen, is Amir still the same fighter that you worked with back then?
Pretty much so. He's matured a lot. He's become more settled in his style, become more patient in his style. So he's matured more. He's not the energy bunny, so to speak, that he was before. He's more calculating now.
Did you see him? Has he learnt anything from Joe Goose, and that has been an advantage to you?
I can't speak on that because I'm sure Joe's an excellent and great trainer, so he had to get something out of it. So that's not a knock on Joe at all. I respect Joe and respect his work. And I'm sure if he was there, he got something from Joe.
Can I ask, how is it that Amir goes about beating Terence Crawford this weekend?
He just has to be himself, and he has to take it one round at a time, and he has to stay focused every second of every round.
Would it require his best performance to do so?
One of his best performances, for sure.
Thank you for your time, Virgil.